Holy shit, I'm back and I'm finally here to bring you guys Soundwave Sunday. So, this has been a long time coming. One, because this figure is kind of near and dear to me, and two, because I've kind of been stalling this because I can't really find uh, really a lot of the words to say about this guy that would seem interesting, but here we go. This is Siege Soundwave, and man, this guy is fantastic looking. So a little bit of a backstory on this guy. This guy actually kind of brought me back into the collecting world of Transformers, at least. Uh, I kind of took a break from Transformers after like Prime and all that. I skipped Prime Wars completely, like the Prime Wars trilogy, and I just focused on Gundam model kits, which I now have a lot of. But yeah, when I saw this guy in the shop one day, I said, "Wow, that's a fantastic looking Soundwave." So I picked him up, I bought him, and I got back home with him, opened him up, and I said, "Wow, this guy is fantastic looking. Let's transform him." We'll get to that. But yeah, this guy, first of all, this guy's sculpt is amazing. Like, I'm sorry, I nutted. But anyway, this guy is just great looking. The sculpting, the detail on him is fantastic. Like, you get to see like all these little details on him that you really never get to see in a Soundwave figure all that much. Usually it's just a G1 rectangles on squares on a square on stilts on rectangles. And to be fair, this guy does follow the same design trope, but he does it so well. Like the sculpted in details of him, the scuff marks, while are all over his body, are not concentrated, and they're very evenly distributed, unlike Starscream, who had most of it in his legs. And it kind of was a pain because usually Starscream's legs are like a big part of him, no pun intended. But anyway, yeah, this guy has very even painting, very nice sculpting. Like, you see little details on him right around here. His head sculpt is probably one of the best Soundwave head sculpt I've ever seen, aside from, say, the Masterpiece and the Fall of Cybertron Soundwave, which both have fantastic head sculpts. And if you don't notice, this guy has what is known as light piping. So what you guys don't know is light piping is when they take a colored, semi-clear piece of plastic, mold it in such a way to where the head kind of wraps around it, and the light piping will then open up in the eyes or like around the face area. Now, this isn't strictly limited to head sculpts. You could do it with almost any part theoretically, but basically the main idea is that light goes through this part of the head right here and then passes through the eyes or anywhere else, and it makes it seem like it's glowing. And it is great. Like, we haven't seen light piping in a long time with Transformers. And honestly, I like that Siege brought it back with a couple other figures like Starscream and this guy. But anyway, as you can see, his back is also very nice too. Like, it's very clean. There's not a lot of kibble to it. Hell, these honestly don't distract me as much as I thought they would. When I first like wanted to review this guy, I was like, I feel like these are kind of a problem. But then they kind of grew on me as I kept posing the figure, as I kept playing with him. And honestly, they just add to him. Like, it's a nice, cool little detail. But after this, let's get into his accessories. So he didn't come with much. He didn't even come with a cassette. As you can see, he is pretty empty. But hell, you at least get this this sculpted finger that you can, do the whole eject pose, which every Soundwave is now pretty much required to do, which I love. I love that pose. But yeah, along with his little shoulder-mounted cannon machine gun, this is really like taken many different forms of what it is. It's not even a sound emitter, but you get his good old-fashioned concussion blaster, which you can just stick right into his hand pretty snugly. And, it's collapsible as well, so easier to store. And you have this very generic looking blaster, honestly. I honestly use this thing as a prop for my Studio Series Soundwave more than like this guy, because it just doesn't really look like it belongs with him, but hey, at least he's got 2 guns now. But yeah, these weapons also have a gimmick of their own, in that you can combine a couple of them to make a super weapon of sorts. Now this gimmick is kind of useless. All you need to do is just, you know, flip out this, plug that in there, plug this in here, and you get this weird thing. It doesn't even fit into the camera frame. But yeah, he can dual wield it. He doesn't look right with it, but like, I'm not gonna go through the effort of doing that, because this video is not really about that. This video is about him, and he is just fantastic in robot mode. I have to preface that. If it sounds like I'm stalling, it's because I am, because I really don't want to talk about the alt mode. But to save more time, let's talk about his articulation. So this guy, no exception, Siege has fantastic articulation. So let's go ahead and get into it. First of all, his head has full movement. He can go left, right, up, and down. I think it's a ball joint. He has shoulders, which can go up to here and rotate. He has a bicep swivel right here, and an elbow crunch, which you can even extend it a bit. No wrist articulation. All he has is this one little lump of a hand and this ugly ass space. Seriously, why don't they haven't even fixed it for the Earthrise figure. But yeah, he has a waist swivel. He can go a little bit back, but that's mainly due to the transformation. Let's go ahead and flip his side skirts up, and he can kick out that far. He can go back that far. And he has an ankle pivot. He also has a knee. But now that we're done with that, let's get into the transformation. So what you want to do is flip in his fists. Go ahead and take this off. Then you open up his back panel right here. As you can see, there's a space there for his head. So go ahead and fix that right there. And put it down, put it in, and then you go down to his legs. Go ahead and flip these open, flip these out, put these in. Flip these open, flip these out, put these in. Sorry guys, my area is kind of a mess right now, so I'm kind of fixing it as I'm doing this. So I go ahead and flip these. And these little tabs in here, if you can't see them, they connect to each other. Up, 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 up. There we go. Then what you're going to want to do is go ahead and flip his biceps till they stick out to about here. Turn them back around. Flip up these panels on his legs. Yeah. As you can see, this alt mode is just not fantastic. Not even fantastic to transform. I go ahead and flip up these thrusters. Go ahead and lift his arms up like so, and then you're gonna want to untab them like that. Just untab them right there, and then he has a little satellite thing that's like right here. Flip that up. Now that you've got all that settled, go ahead and detach this, bring it all the way up, and then tab it in. And there you have that. Now, go to his backside and flip over the arms. You're going to want to go ahead and detach this whole ab area. Put it down. Go ahead and secure it. Lord have mercy, man. like so. And see, he's a bit bent forward. I don't know what's happening. Hold on. Here. And see, this guy is just not... He's not a hassle to transform, really. He's more so just kind of annoying to transform. And it's not really worth it because his alt mode is just not great. But anyway, let's just go ahead and... Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm gonna have to pull out the directions for this. Fucking A, man. This thing is just not agreeing with me. There we go. Finally. Lord have mercy. So, now that they're secured, go ahead and flip them over. And you're going to want to connect his arms, and I think I fucked up. Oh, Lord. This is just not a good alt mode for Soundwave. It's really not. There we go. Now, it's finally done. And really? Really? I'm not sure if I did it correctly. I honestly really don't care because even if I did, this is not a good alt mode for Soundwave. It just does not. It does not. Here, I actually did fuck up. Hold on. Here. There we go. And there we have it. Here's his fully completed alt mode. And did that little mistake matter? No, because this is just a brick. It's a flying brick. It's a shit brick. It's a brick shit. But yeah, like all of the cohesion in the robot mode kind of makes sense now in that this was what they came up with. But they could have done so much better. Like, we already have another alt mode for Soundwave when it comes to his Cybertronian form. And it's an armored car. It's a four-wheeled, like, SUV type of vehicle. So, God knows why they decided to make a flying brick as his alt mode. But God knows why. Like, you could easily just tell that this is just him doing yoga. Like, it doesn't even, like, try to hide that it's a robot just bent in a weird way. Like, God forbid you have any, like, cohesion with your alt modes, like, say, Optimus Prime or anything like that. Like, I know it's a meme that this guy has a really bad alt mode, but, like, you really have to see it to believe it. This is a pretty bad alt mode, and the fact that, like, you just pop his weapons in here, whoop-de-fucking-do, like, it doesn't matter. It still doesn't help the fact that this is not a good alt mode for Soundwave, for any robot. Like, this is pretty much the Shockwave Refractor deal, where they were like, shit, we have this alt mode. Like, we decided to go G1 for the design, but we can't really explain its alt mode. Like, we can't really explain its vehicle mode because we made it so G1. So they decided put some thrusters on his back, make his legs connect, and make him do fucking crunches. And they decided to say, that's a spaceship. No, really, this is just a random shape that you decided to put him in. But enough ranting about that. Honestly, this really doesn't bother me that much as I've let on, but, like, I really don't know what to do with this thing. Like, how is a kid supposed to play with this? But, like, I just don't get it. Like, what were they thinking about this? And even now that I look at it, the scuff marks it makes it worse. Like, it's now super concentrated in one area, which is the front of it. Like, no even distribution at all, like in the robot mode. They really did only think about the robot mode. And honestly, I feel like this is kind of a worthy sacrifice, but another part of me says, rip this thing a new one, which I have been. So I really don't know what to think. On one hand, the robot mode, utterly fantastic. Probably one of the best sound waves to come out ever. Like, aside from, like, maybe the Masterpiece version or something of the like. On the other hand, this vehicle mode doesn't do Soundwave justice. This is not what Soundwave deserves. He's a mainline Decepticon. He's been there since G1, the first year, and he's one of the most recognizable of the brand. So, really, I feel like this was just a beta test for how the Earthrise figure would go. And honestly, I'm actually really excited for that, and I can tell the scalpers are too, because it's all sold out everywhere. But that's neither here nor there. Honestly, if this alt mode was just the cassette, honestly, this guy would probably be like a 9 out of 10, but this just really bogs it down. Honestly, the robot mode itself could have made this thing a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. But as a transformer, you have to weigh them both equally. They have to equally be of quality, and this is just not of quality. So my final rating for this thing is probably going to be, I'd say, a 7 out of 10. Like, that's not a bad score. It's just that I'm so disappointed that it has to be this figure. This figure had so much going for it, and they kind of just stumbled at the end with its alt mode. But other than that, this is still a pretty good Soundwave when it comes to its robot mode. I know I keep repeating myself, but I feel like I have to kind of drive the point home where I'm just very disapproving of this alt mode. But honestly, that's all I have to say about this guy. This guy is amazing in one department, terrible in another. Now, I know you guys are probably wondering when the next video is coming. Honestly, I'm probably going to put it out in 2 weeks. I actually do have a video prepared for the next video, and that's probably going to be coming out in the next 2 weeks, so look forward to that. It's going to be another Siege one. I know, Siege. It's honestly making the bulk of my collection now. But yeah, make sure to stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys later.